Good morning. Welcome to Erie Shores Prepping. I'm your host, Greg. Hey, let's talk a little bit more about your denial of access to your property, your perimeter, your defense on your homestead, your house, or anything else like that. I did a video the other day about making stick fences, and it is free. You can use those. You can use the limbs in your own property or use your fall cleanup when they're bundling heavy duty sticks, not little tinder or anything else, but good limbs, sapling limbs, and using those to build a fence with points coming out both sides like this. So if somebody comes up, those limbs will get in their face or their eyes, and then interlocking them like that. So if they try to go under, they're denied access to your property. Again, this is free. All it takes is time to build that. That fence was tested by animal or person. I strongly suspect it was a two-legged creature because a lot of the limbs were tried to have been dismantled, taken apart, and the snapping and the crackling made enough noise to warrant a searchlight and running these thieves off the property. Hey, leave it. Last night, about 9 o'clock, it was time for the dogs to go out and do their nighttime business before we call it an evening. And sure enough, the German Shepherd heard something and alerted and immediately went into the woods barking and growling, which brought her boyfriend, the Cane Corso, and he did more than that. He took off and was really barking. And that person who was creeping on to the property, and the police know who it is, they have an extensive criminal background, and we were told to be extremely cautious because they have assaults and a variety of crimes on people as well as property, and this person has mental health issues. That's what we're dealing with. So once the dogs did their business and ran this person off, or at least backed them off of our property, we waited up for a while and we did not hear any further things. So add dogs if you are able to and you are qualified to. A good German Shepherd or a large dog. You don't have to get a Cane Corso. That is not a beginner dog. A German Shepherd is questionable whether it's a beginner dog. There's a lot of them that end up in shelters because people don't know how to handle them. But again, I always advise from a perspective of being a dog trainer myself, get a dog that is right for you. Talk to a trainer about it before you go out and spend hard-earned money about that, or even a breeder, and see if this is right for you. So add dogs to your repertoire of denial of services. So you have your wood perimeter fence as a deterrent. You also can add metal fencing. I've showed you plenty of times the field fencing that you can add along with or beside that stick fencing behind it to add one layer. So now if you add metal fence, wood fence, metal fence, dogs, you have 3 layers of denial. Add in there barbed wire, which would be 4, motion lights, which would be 5 battery operated motion lights, which I've showed you. So you're up to 5 layers to help protect you. Do not be naive like I was and say, okay, a 3-foot high field fence should be enough to tell people, look, this is private property, no trespassing, here are the signs, and a strand of barbed wire across the top should be enough to keep most people out. And it will for those that are thinking about it. It will not slow down the people that are the criminal element that have had experience in robbing and harming people. You have to up your game by having multiple layers of defenses on it. We just added rat traps at $2 or $3 a packet. They may be even more now. I found them down in the basement where I had stashed them a long time ago. We have added rat traps and placed them in such a way that our animals will not set them off, but it did have some success with one of these criminal elements, as we did hear someone yelling in the darkness, "Get this off of me." And by the time we got out there with the motion lights, they were long gone, and we found the rat trap set off. Okay, no bait in the rat trap, by the way, so you do not want to attract animals or your own dogs or the neighbor's dogs or anything else. But again, denial with the rat trap, snapping toes, is enough to dissuade those of the faint of heart. The next layer of traps, non-lethal, is this type. It's a leg hold trap right here. I do not trap animals for their fur or anything else. But again, this is for those people who do trap muskrats, otter, raccoon for their fur and meat. You might want to just put a couple of these in there in case we get to that point where hard times happen. This is a number 1. Takes 1 pound for the animal to step on what is called the pan right here and release this on their legs. I did not set this. I don't want to have any accidents and quite possibly potentially lose a finger. But this is a number 1. I bought 2 of these off of eBay for $32, shipped to my house, secured to either a tree or a stake to keep the animal or person who steps in this secured until you can come and dispatch said trespasser or animal. Again, I do not trap for fun or for fur or anything else like that, but I do have these in my preps for denial purposes. So you say, okay, someone has crossed the perimeter, they're hiding, their intent is no good. A few of these leg hold traps in the right places to avoid harming your dogs, but secure enough inside the perimeter to set it off. Someone crossing that will make a huge difference in how they react and what you do and give you the advantage. So you have your wood fence, you have your metal fence, you have barbed wire, you have motion lights, you have trip wires, which I have out there, that will have a 12 gauge flash bang effect on it. And one of these nights I'll have to set it off to do it. But I guarantee you that will rock your world as well. But don't be naive in thinking, well, a sign and 1 motion light by your garage saying private property, no trespassing will be enough to keep these out. It's not. And I've learned the hard way. Up your game. Criminals already know how weak you are. Don't help them out. Add rat traps, leg hold traps, noise makers, perimeter alarms, motion lights in multiple quantities. Stick fences, it's free. Just takes time to put them up and put them together and say, okay, keep out, whatever. Get it done. Take advantage of now, because the time of lawlessness is spreading across America and we've seen it. Get yourself right with God. Get baptized in the name of Jesus Christ. The time is coming and time is short. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Greg out.